Hello everyone, and how are we doing today? Welcome back to another episode of Trials and Talking. Haven't done one in a while, and E3 just was around back corner, turn around, was around the corner, down the street. And I figured out that I'd do a video talking about my anticipations that will come out sooner or later, just like a lot of other people out there. So, what I want to mention in my video today are my disappointments, anticipated games with gameplay shown, anticipated games that were just trailers, notable returns, and, well, a little bit of Wolfenstein at the end, and then moving on to talking about what my next episode will be. So, let's start with this. My first disappointment of E3 was Lost Planet 3. Sadly, I looked at 7 minutes of gameplay of a boss battle, and the boss battle looked pretty damn generic. Shoot the orange thing of the crab monster to hurt it, and that was pretty much it. The character got into like a gun turret thing and then shot at the rest of it, and that was it. Now, I could be prejudging this, but it's also made by Spark Unlimited. As you know, they made games like Legend, and they made Call of Duty. The first game on the PS2, that was good, I think. I don't know. I think that was their best one. They also made, what was the name of that game? The one where the Nazis invade America or something. And then, yeah, they don't have the greatest reputation. I'm kind of glad. There's a lot of people who thought they were going to make the next Battlefront game, which I'll talk about that later. I'm pretty surprised that they're not. I mean, I'm happy that they're not. So, hopefully that game will be better than just what it is, but who knows. The next one is, I know people might get a little upset about this, a lot of the comic book fanboys, but I was kind of a little disappointed with Deadpool. The thing is, it wasn't really shown a whole lot either. I mean, I saw a little bit of gameplay in May, but they didn't really show it. Maybe that's mostly why I kind of disappointed, because I was expecting to see it. And when I did look at it before, the gameplay looked pretty darn generic, but at least the game looked pretty funny. So that might be what it's going for. It might be just more of a fan service. But as you could probably tell, Activision is pretty much just forcing that one out. So don't expect too highly of it. Just hopefully it will be generic and nothing worse than that. Maybe staying on the safe side. Alright, moving on to the good part. My top 5 anticipated games that were shown with quite a bit of gameplay were, or are, for that matter, Titanfall. Now this is the one by Respawn Entertainment, the people who started Call of Duty 4. I mean, the Call of Duty 4 up to Modern Warfare 2, Mark West and Jason Zampella. Those two guys who got in trouble, and now they're with EA. So that game looks really cool. It definitely looks like a new step for a game. Definitely a lot more different than games like Halo and Call of Duty. Heard a lot of people say that this game might be the Halo and Call of Duty killer, but I think Halo might be going in a different direction. But that's a different story. Being able to jump from a mech to another mech and destroy it, just being a soldier, definitely shows there's definitely a lot of balance in it. It does look like a really cool game. It's parkour with jetpacks. What's cooler than that? Nothing really. So the next game would be The Evil Within, which we saw a little bit of gameplay. I saw a quick little trailer for this a couple months back, and I was really excited for it because it was actually made by the creator of Resident Evil, but it's actually survival horror, so it's finally going back to the roots of what it should be. We saw a little bit of gameplay for that, 6 or 7 minutes of it. It's weird. It kind of looked like a stealth horror game almost, which in a way could be survival because you don't really have many resources to use against the enemies, but there are ways to combat them and whatnot. But the gameplay I saw was mostly trying not to enter conflict with enemies. And I also heard that you will be ammo and supplies will be scarce in the game, so you really have to pick your battles. And the enemies are pretty tricky too, so that definitely will be interesting. Another supernatural game, Murdered Soul Suspect, which is it's going to be on current gens, which is pretty cool. And basically, you're a ghost solving your own murder. Actually, I was having a discussion with my dad about this game, a movie that was like this. A basic concept of the game is a ghost basically is a detective who tries to solve his own murder. So already pretty interesting. It's a weird mix of like LA Noire and like Devil May Cry, so that's pretty cool. And it's weird, it's like another stealth-based like horror game almost, because you're a ghost, and there are these red ghosts that kind of look like ring wraiths, but they're demons. They were basically lost souls in this afterlife or whatever, in this nether region of Earth. So basically, you gotta stealth kill them too, while figuring out your own murder and acting as a poltergeist to get other people in the world, the real world, to help you. Next game is Destiny by Bungie, which is definitely another cool. It's definitely cool looking, good looking next gen. Actually, looks a lot better than Titanfall, I have to say, both stylistically and the world itself. But that game definitely also looks really cool. I think we've seen enough gameplay to know, and they're definitely doing some interesting things with that. And the next game are two games by Ubisoft. They're kind of the same, The Division and The Crew, and the games that are they're kind of MMO based, but they're realistic. And I feel like both games like The Crew and The Division. I'm sorry, this video is starting to run on a little bit. The Division and The Crew, games like that are really kind of cool. The ones where you're in this open environment with other players. Not that you're forced into playing with other players, but you really kind of need real people to help you. And the last thing is Project Spark, which isn't really a real game, and I know that's more than 5, but it's not a game, so I'm just gonna talk about it. They give you a game world to create, which is really cool, and it's more like you're playing a game that you have to make first, or other people have to make, and then you play it. A lot of people said it was like Little Big Planet, but I don't think it really is, because Little Big Planet has its own game, storyline campaign kind of game mixed with it, and you can make your own games and stuff. But I think this project will be definitely a lot more of a... I'm saying definitely a lot. You can tell I'm nervous about this. I just want to get this done. A lot of noises in the house going around, so... Alright, moving on. Anticipated games with just trailers. Super Smash Bros. 4. I know we saw some gameplay for it if you looked on the Nintendo channel, but not enough was really shown to have the gameplay. Basically, I'm hyped up just like any other Super Smash Bros. Game that's been released before, so pretty cool that Mega Man's in it. I don't know if I really like his attacks, but I haven't really played it. I mean, We Fit Girl's in it too. I mean, oof. So, yep, that game, Trials Fusion, well, I'll definitely be doing videos of that. You may even see videos of Trials and talking with that. Or I don't know. I'll do something with it. It was pretty cool because now there's Trials Frontiers, which is a mobile thing, which I don't really care about because I don't have a smartphone. Ooh, sadly. But Trials Fusion left me fun. Another evolutionary step in the Trials games. Can't wait for that. Star Wars Battlefront. There's really nothing more to say about that. I did catch a glimpse of an article saying that they're doing something different. I don't care. Just don't make it don't make it first person, please. Third person is definitely a staple of it, and definitely being able to drive the vehicles is always a classic. Quantum Break is another one with this trailer being shown. Sadly, I really wish there was gameplay shown because we were seeing this game announced way early on when the Xbox was just announced. So that was pretty cool. So definitely looking forward to that. Remedy can do some really good with that. And another kind of little one that a lot of people didn't really see was called Contrast. It takes place in like a 1920s type setting with that kind of music playing a lot during the game. And basically you use shadows of objects and people to traverse the world. So definitely really interesting. And now we move on to notable returns. Metal Gear Solid 5, with the voice of Snake being portrayed by Kiefer Sutherland. So, in my opinion, that's really cool because I have a feeling that we're gonna return to Metal Gear and we're gonna see remakes of Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2. So we might see Snake and Big Boss, young Snake I should call him, and Big Boss confronting with each other. And maybe it won't be Kiefer Sutherland playing Big Boss then, but we need them to have two different voices. It would be stupid if we had Big Boss and young Snake confronting each other with the same voice. Wouldn't that be dumb? I mean, no, it would be dumb. I'm just gonna say it. It would be dumb. I'm not gonna rhetorically ask it. It would be dumb. Infamous Second Son. Now, I don't have I won't get the PS4 right away because I'm Xbox. I know a lot of people have been complaining about the Xbox, but sadly, I can see myself getting it because I can do all those things. Yeah, Infamous looks really cool. Your smoke basically, your smoke for Mortal Kombat. You can go through vents and fly around everywhere. It is really cool. You should really check it out. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I know that's a really odd one. I don't really go for a lot of Nintendo ones a lot, but I love Super Smash Bros. And I kind of like the concept of this next one. And Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare. It's kind of like a TF2 meets Plants vs. Zombies. I just find it really cool. And that'll be really kind of a fun game to play with definitely my friends. And the last one would be Mario Kart 8, especially with the ability to use magnets and go on the walls and stuff. That's really cool. I was really like, oh, so maybe I might get a Wii one of these days. Still no F-Zero game. One of these days, hopefully. Hopefully next E3. I've heard a lot of people say, maybe next E3 we'll get better games. Yeah, we might get better ones. So, my last little point is Wolfenstein. It looks to be like the last generic shooter, doesn't it? Well, this might be not that much. We might see Call of Duty Ghosts as being the last generic shooter. Maybe Battlefield 4. More of a moving standard, typical shooter. Because in Wolfenstein, you can get this like cutter tool that you can cut walls through things. I mean, cut walls. That'd be hard to cut walls through things. Cut holes in walls and be able to use it as cover and break enemies' cover. So that's pretty cool. I don't see a whole lot being done with that. Hopefully you can get a bigger one and really, carve out holes and things. That would be cool. But it's definitely seeming that it's going to be a really difficult game too. And definitely push the boundaries of what generic would be. Hopefully, I mean, that's what they're saying, but you never know with a game that looks like this, so. And that'll move on to my ending, and the next episode that I'll be talking about the future of FPS games. Basically, I'm going to be talking about parkour jetpacks, just like I was mentioning with Titanfall. So I hope you stay tuned for that, and hope you enjoyed this multiplayer gameplay, and maybe I'd be showing more multiplayer gameplay of Trials Evolution. I'm gonna say that I'm pretty average. I'm not gonna be getting the quote-unquote nukes of completing Trials tracks and beating people in that. But you'll see some more of that, and I hope you see you next time, and have a good one. Oh yeah, and be sure to watch other videos of E3 and stuff, because definitely a lot of cool games coming out. Hopefully see better ones next year. See you later.